Oh, well, it looks like I'm live. I'm sorry. I'm completely new to this. I wanted to share one thing with everybody today, and that is people keep on asking me, I shouldn't desire so much. I shouldn't want so much more. I have so much. I should be happy with what I have. No, that's not true. If you have a desire, I'm going to explain to you where it's sourced and where it comes from and why you absolutely must go after your desires. Okay. We live in what most people call a vacuum, emptiness. But that emptiness is not empty, it's actually very full, and it's full with energy. In quantum physics, they call this void the zone of possibilities. And what I mean by that is that all this emptiness, just think of it as a mobile network, a cellular network, okay? It's full of little paths and connections and crossroads and off to the next place and off to the next thing. And all that's energetic, right? It's pulsing with energetic. Now, with energy, I'm sorry. On the other hand, we are electromagnetic people, meaning the heart is, the brain is electric, the heart is magnetic. How does this work? I'm sure you've heard about heart brain coherence. Well, heart brain coherence means when the two are aligned. However, the heart, the brain, I'm sorry, the brain has got less, if you want to call it the strength of energy, hertz than the heart. So they don't operate at the same vibration. And a very easy way to get them to be in coherence is by doing the following breathing exercise. You breathe in slowly, let's say to the count of 3, and you exhale even slower to the count of 5. This you do for about 3 minutes. And when you do this for 3 minutes, what you're actually doing is you're tuning your heart and your brain to go together. And this is how you start to build coherence. Now, what happens is when your thoughts match the emotions in your heart, the heart emits the energy outwards. It emits it for about up to about a meter and a half. And when that energy is out there, all of a sudden it turns into a magnet, right? This energy out there turns into a magnet, meaning it attracts something of the same intensity, right? If you put a magnet of a kilo underneath your table, that strength, all the little filings of metal which are on the table up to a kilo will center just over where the magnet is. But if you put a magnet of 1 kilo and you have 5 kilos of metal on the table, this magnet is just not strong enough to attract those 5 kilos. Therefore, you go into coherence. I want you to understand that we are vibrating all the time. And the frequencies that we are emitting are the frequencies of our thoughts. So if you're having a happy thought, your vibration is up here. If you're having a sad or an angry and negative thought, your vibration is quite low. That's why I work with mind setting, because they are tools to be able to set your thoughts according to what you want. But that's not what I want to talk about today. Today, what I want to talk about is where desire comes from. So, this zone of possibilities is full of possibilities. There's the possibility of you being successful. There's a possibility of you being a ballerina. There's a possibility of you being an astronaut. There's a possibility of you being happily married or divorced or unhappily married or happily divorced. There are infinite possibilities out there, and those possibilities are real. And each possibility has got a frequency. Each possibility. They're in the zone. You can't see them. They're invisible. They're completely invisible, but they exist. Now, when all of a sudden you have an idea, you say, oh, I have this wonderful idea. You didn't create that idea. That idea came to you because at that point in time, your frequency, your thoughts, probably most likely in your subconscious, you were not even aware of them, because we have 60,000 thoughts a day. And of those 60,000 thoughts a day, on average, 80% are the same as the day before. Yep, they just happen in a loop automatically. And of those 80% thoughts that you have from the day before, about another 80% are negative. Yeah, right? So we have to work in being positive consciously. But nevertheless, just take it for granted that you've got 80% of your 60,000 thoughts a day, more or less, that are running on like a hamster wheel. And whatever is being thought at that moment without your awareness is sending out a frequency. And when that frequency is out there, once, twice, three times, depending on the strength of that energy, it will start to attract what already exists, ideas. An idea is a message that comes to you from that zone of possibilities, comes right to you, and you go, oh, I have an idea. Right? That's how the idea happened. Now, if that idea, you take it and you like the idea and you develop it and you have the strong urge for it, it turns into a desire. So, what I am saying is, these are versions of you, unlimited, like the universe, infinite possibilities of you in different situations. And when you feel a desire, it comes to you because it already exists. Now, you can say, of course, later, is this desire something that's going to do me bad or good? Is it going to be bad for me or good for me? Okay. I mean, you can have a desire for drinking 3 bottles of alcohol right now. That doesn't mean that it's necessarily good for you, does it? Okay. However, the desire of drinking 3 bottles of alcohol came to you for whatever reason because you attracted it. But now you use your conscious mind and you go, hold on, wait, I've got that desire. But you know what? I don't want it because I know it's not going to be good for me. So I'm going to choose, because now you know where it comes from. I don't want this desire to keep on coming to me. So I'm going to choose to reprogram my mindset to see me as wanting 3 bottles of mineral water, right? So you see, it's the possibilities are there, and being human means having the ability of choice, conscious brain, and then working on that. We'll go further in other conversations because this is a subject that I love, and I love it because it teaches me and you. Whenever I speak about it, I'm also learning, by the way. When we open our minds, excuse me, when we open our hearts and our minds to accepting that that our lives can be so much more than what we think it can be, we automatically start to find ways to make that happen. If you have any comments, and I hope you have lots of comments and lots of questions, put it in the comments. I don't know if it exists here in live, or send me a message on my YouTube. I have a link tree, and on the link tree, you can book calls with me or you can send me questions. Okay. Remember, this is your life, and not only must you, but you can turn it into what you want it to be. Bye.